Well, hello there. Thanks for stopping by. My name's Tyler. I have, for the past 26 months, lived full-time in here in my 2007 Kia Sedona. I have traveled to more than a dozen cities and it's been about 4 or 5 different states now. And currently I am on my way to Tucson, Arizona to meet my very special friend and my mentor, Miss Minivan Lee. So shout out to her. I hope that you guys will go over there if you haven't already and check out her channel. She has an amazing channel and she is the person that inspired me to start this new life and to start my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be about why I had to suddenly leave Austin, Texas. Yeah, really. So I'm out here a couple hours outside of El Paso, Texas, so kind of pretty much in the middle of nowhere. So I figured, you know what, I will go ahead and turn on the recorder and I will shoot a video. Why not, right? So let's do this. So for the past 3 months, I've been in Austin, Texas. This is actually my 3rd trip to Austin, Texas in my life, and my 2nd trip to Austin as a van lifer. My first trip was about 7 years ago when my good friend Robert, shout out to Robert, hi Robert, he moved out there for a job, and he calls me up one day. I was actually on vacation in Los Angeles, and he was like, girl, you gotta come check out Austin. It's awesome. And so I had a little extra time and a little extra money, and I was like, well, you know what, why not? So I drove from LA to Austin, very long drive. It's a whole lot of nothing out here. Let me tell you folks, it's a whole lot of nothing. So you best have some podcasts or CDs, something to listen to. Okay, so I got out there and I fell in love. That was like 7 years ago. And I fell in love with Austin. It was a real welcoming place. At the time, it was the fastest growing city in America. It was consistently rated in the top 5 of the most safest places to live, top 5 of the best places to live in America for a number of years. And well, folks, let me tell you, it's not that way anymore. It really isn't. Over the last few years, there's been a change that's happened in Austin. More recently, about 2 years ago, the city voted to defund the police department, believe it or not. I looked all this up actually. So Austin is the only city, at least major city in Texas, to defund the police department. In fact, from what I read, Texas actually will fine or reduce funding for cities that defund the police departments in the state of Texas. This was about 2 years ago. And let me tell you folks, that was a really, really bad idea. And I'm not going to really get too much into the politics of this, but we're at a time in our country where both sides, whether you're a Democrat or you're Republican, they have gone way far to both extremes. You know, way far left, way far right. It has gotten, honestly, folks, in my own opinion, this is just my opinion, it's gotten out of hand. And I've never been arrested. I've really never had any trouble with the law. I have, however, a few times now since I've started van life, I've had instances where, you know, somebody called the police because I was parked in a parking lot, or, you know, a looky-loo, neighborhood, watch guard, whatever, called, and I got the knock. And that's happened about 3 times. I had to think. And I had one time where the police officer, he was I think he was a supervisor. This was actually in Lakeway, Texas, outside of Austin, about 30 minutes. Nice area. And he was really nice. He said, you know what? You're not harming anybody. Your van looks clean. That's also a reason, folks. Minivan Lee says keep your van clean. Yes, keep your van clean. You don't want to be driving a dirty, nasty looking van, because people are going to see that. And he actually mentioned it. He said, I can tell you're clean. I'm going to let you spend the night here. But just be more mindful that he in so very little words said, this might not be the best area for me to park. But he let me spend the night. That was nice of him. He was a nice officer. But 2 other times, one other time was in Scottsdale, Arizona. When I first started out, I had 2 officers show up in the morning, early morning, and they, knocked. I had to quickly get dressed. I wasn't dressed. And I said, one moment, I'm getting dressed. Yeah. He said, we want you to come outside and talk to us. I said, all right. So, got dressed. And he said, what are you doing? And it's just like, oh, well, I live and travel in my minivan. And they said, oh, well, why don't you? It was a female and a male cop, but the female cop did most of the talking. And she's like, well, why don't you live in an apartment or a house? And I said, well, I actually lost my apartment during COVID. And she said, well, are you working? I said, yeah, I do food deliveries. And she said, and you can't afford another place again? I said, well, no, not really, not with the current cost of rent and everything. And then she was like, well, you better go get a better job. Get a real job. She says, you know what? You need to go and be a roofer. So it was really funny because I don't know if I would do so well up on a roof. I'd probably fall, and that'd be the end. So would not go over well. So I just was like, okay. I just was nodding. I didn't want to get in any trouble. She says, well, then the male cop started talking. He says, we could give you a $300 fine for trespassing. And I said, I would really appreciate it if you didn't, because, that would hurt my finances, and quite a bit. And he said, well, you get a few of these tickets and you might as well be paying rent. I'm like, well, I didn't. I said, officer, honestly, I didn't know that I could not park here. I thought I was perfectly fine. I really do apologize, and I would really appreciate it if you could let me go this time, and I definitely won't park here again. And he said, all right, we will let you go, but if we see you again, it's a $300 fine. And then the next time, I think he said it gets more expensive. So the third time was also in Austin, Texas. I was actually in a Home Depot parking lot. Woke up again early in the morning. This time, three officers, 3 cop SUVs. And they said that Home Depot had called them and said they don't want me parking there. I had been parking there for a few days, admittedly. And, I always stay in my van. I don't get out, do all sorts of things. Stay in here, have all my window covers up. But they called. They figured it out. And this cop, he was a nasty cop. He says to me, that's kind of the same thing, like, what are you doing, why are you doing it, and why are you here? And let me drink a little bit of my coffee. Got some coffee from McDonald's. No sweetener. So he says, you need to go ahead and get out of here. I said, okay, yes, officer, of course. And I always try to anytime I've ever talked with officers, I always try to be very respectful. Say yes to what they're saying. You know, you don't want any trouble. You don't want to provoke anything. And he's like, and while you leave, why don't you go and take a hike and get lost in the process? How? I mean, I was just like, what? What is that even supposed to mean? Like, just, yeah, he was you know what. So he was not a nice officer. But, well, I've had some negative experiences. I also understand the importance that police officers play in our communities. And there's always going to be, no matter what again, this is just my opinion, but no matter what line of work, there's always going to be rotten apples. And there are going to be officers out there that do bad things. And there's going to be mean officers. But if we just group them all in one group and say, they're all bad, and we're going to teach them a lesson, we're going to defund them. That is a recipe for disaster. So right now in Austin, there is over 200 vacancies. I read up on this. And the call center in the process of this was also not defunded, but they're lacking funding, and in the process of that, they're short about 80 people. So it's caused a huge ripple effect. I was there for 3 months on this trip. There's crime everywhere now. In just 3 months, there was four times that I either heard a gun go off nearby, or I saw a gun go off. Twice I heard while I was trying to sleep, and it was so close that it scared me enough to move spots in the middle of the night. That both of those times happened in Zilker Park, where I used to park at. Another time I was at a McDonald's picking up an Uber Eats order, because that's what I do for work. And I was waiting there in the drive-thru because it was late, it was a Saturday night. And these two women got into it for whatever reason. I don't know the specifics. I think one of them honked at the other, and they got into a verbal conflict, and then the one woman in the white vehicle pulled out a gun and started shooting the other woman. And while that was going on, I got out of line, took off, drove down the road, and called 911. About 3 weeks later, I was at a different McDonald's picking up a nice coffee. And this was just a few days ago. I parked my van because there was quite a long drive-through line, and the lobby was open. So I get out of my van, and a white Toyota Sienna minivan drives right by me, and he's got not one, but two mattresses on the top of his roof. And it's an odd sight, right? And I just kind of go, oh. And then I, go back to looking to where I'm walking. And in that maybe 2 or 3 seconds, the guy in the white Sienna, he was a skinny guy with long curly hair. He starts cussing me out. All sorts of things. He says, watch, beep, 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 what you're beep, beep, beep looking at. Watch, beep, 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 where your eyes are, beep, beep, beep. And I was just like, okay. And I've learned, I didn't grow up in the best of areas. Just learn when somebody's like that, just let them say their piece, because if you try to argue or... Sorry, I'm going up a steep hill right now. Had to get around a semi. If you try to argue or one-up that person, they're already unhinged. They're already like about ready to explode, and you could be the one that just sends them over the edge. So I've learned to just keep going, just don't say anything. So I don't say anything, I just keep walking. Well, he floors his van, screeches the tires forward, and I think he's leaving. Then he slams on the brakes and puts it in reverse and comes back right up to me. Again, cursing me out, everything in the book. Everything in the book. And then, at that point I said, all right. Meaning, I acknowledge what you're saying, okay, basically. And I acknowledge that you're upset. Well, then he reaches in the middle, like his center console. A lot of vans don't have like a center console. It's just a blank space. And he pulls out a shotgun. A shotgun. Yeah. This lunatic pulls out a shotgun and points it at me. He points the shotgun at me. So at that point, I run. I booked it. I booked it real fast into the McDonald's. And I got in there, and I had so much adrenaline rushing. My heart was racing a million miles an hour. I later looked at my watch. My Apple Watch records my heart rate. I got it right here. And it records my heart rate. And my heart had gotten up to almost 200 beats, 100 and I think it was 195. I was trembling. I've never had a gun pointed at me before like that. And I immediately called 911. And because of all the staffing issues, the defunded police department, I stayed on hold for over 20 minutes. I hung up 3 times, redialed, just to get, thank you for calling Austin 911. Please don't hang up. Thank you for calling Austin 911. Please don't hang up. And the 3rd time I remained on hold. So between the 3 calls, it took over 20 minutes. I mentioned it to the 911 operator, and she said they were completely overwhelmed. She said just on her line, she has over 50 people to call back that called 911 and then hung up because they didn't get through. So she had 50 callbacks. Yeah. So I realized then that it's, the kind of work that I do, doing Uber Eats and other food delivery apps, I go around a city a lot, all different parts, good and bad, the orders take me all over. So I end up seeing, sometimes I can see more of a city than somebody that's lived there for a couple of years, oftentimes, because I tend to do about 150 miles a day in deliveries, and it goes all over the place. So you get to really see places, good and bad. But that really affected me, and I realized then I need to leave Austin because it's not safe for me. I'm not just in one area, and I can't just stay in one area because my job takes me all over, and there's just too many unsafe areas in Austin, and you can't get help when you call, and there's no help. That really struck me. I was like, wow. And it made me really sad. Because Austin used to be such a cool place. Such a light, good vibing, atmosphere. And now it's become just a crime-ridden, I don't even know what to call it really, but it's crime-ridden. The homeless is out of control. They let these encampments all over the city, and they just leave trash everywhere. Parking lots everywhere in Austin are covered in trash. Stores. You even go into like Whole Foods, thinking that's a better place to use a restroom. There was 2 or 3 times I went into like a Whole Foods to use the restroom. And in the stall, instead of the person using the toilet, they went number 2 on the floor. When there's a toilet right there. Come on, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. These people, they've got a homeless crisis, a crime crisis, and a mental health crisis in Austin, Texas. And, the city manager, he was fired after the latest ice storm that we went through about a month ago. He was fired. But he got a $430,000 severance package. So is he really hurting? That's more money than I've made in almost 10 years of working. Yeah, so it's not good. I don't think the leaders that are the elected officials of Austin are doing their job effectively, in my own opinion. And like I said earlier in the video, our politics have gone too extreme, and we've got to really take a step back, I think, and take a breath. We need to take a breath and realize that some of these people that are elected, they spend so much money to pit us against each other, Republican against Democrat, Democrat against Republican. And then it distracts from what they're actually doing or what they're not doing. They're not affected by, these things. They live in gated communities, security guards. Some of them have security detail, and these people are not affected by what I've been talking about. So I made the decision to leave Austin because I don't feel safe. I didn't feel safe. And I don't think it's a safe place. And I think until the city really gets itself together, that I don't think anybody should move there. And it's very expensive there. A 1-bedroom apartment is over $1,500 a month. It's very expensive. So, yeah. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. This video, I don't want it to get too much longer. But I'm on the road. I'm going to go and meet my very special friend, Minivan Lee. And we'll be doing a van tour finally of my van. And I think that's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to getting to see her and all of that. And yeah, so that is what is going on in my world. And I would say, even if you have a bad opinion of police, try to at least consider that not all police are bad, and that a community needs police to remain safe. And if you take that away, if you take the police away, bad things are going to happen. So with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will keep you updated on my travels and where I go. And this is Tuesday, so this will probably be, I try to put out a video every Wednesday. I may put this one out this evening if I get to El Paso and have enough time to upload it and do everything. So I hope you guys have a great week, and please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. There'll be links in the description for my Patreon if you'd like to support my channel. And I'll also mention, if you would like to send me a donation, I do accept donations on Venmo, which is @UberTreats, and Cash App, which is Treats by Ty. And I can probably put something about that in the description. I don't think there's links for it, but this trip kind of came on suddenly, and I had to get new tires and maintenance done on my van, and it's a lot of gas money, so it's depleting my funds quickly for this trip to get out of Austin. And even if you can send $1 or $2, it would really help me right now. So I really appreciate that, because I don't make anything with YouTube at the moment. I won't until I get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to make a donation, and if you can and you would like to, it really would help me out. And so you guys take care of yourself, and until next time, talk to you later. Bye.